What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mike and Nat. We're ready for the postseason. NFL playoffs getting ready to start. I'm your host, Expected Ant, and I'm with my co-host, my boy, Mob Miz. What's good?
Chilling, my brother. Ready to get to this playoff weekend. Rams kick it off. What a way to start off the playoffs.
Hell yeah. We'll start things off with that game as the postseason starts off with the LA Rams 12-5 at the Carolina Panthers 8-9. I guess at this point in the season, records really don't matter. Everybody starts at 0-0, but it's a rematch of a game that just happened 3 weeks ago. The Panthers beat the Rams. Now the Rams looking for payback. But despite the fact that the Rams beat the Panthers 3 weeks ago, the Rams are 10.5 point favorites in this game on the road. And as for the Panthers, they are the first team since I believe it was the 2022 Tampa Bay Buccaneers to make the playoffs under 500 as they won the NFC South 8-9. It is the weirdest way to win a division too. So it's like, okay, we the NFL's like we got a tie, but we're gonna give the tiebreaker to whoever has the better record against Atlanta, which was
Yeah,
Carolina. That's how they got the division. But
it made no sense.
yeah. But Mike, what's your thoughts on this game? Panthers 10.5 point favorites on the road against the Panthers.
I believe a few weeks ago when the Rams lost to the Panthers, I think that a lot of their players were missing that should be back. For example, Lake, I don't believe Adams played. Um, there's a few other pieces they were missing. So I think that the Rams coming ready for this game. They should overwhelm the Panthers. This really shouldn't be a close game. That's why the spread is what it is. But we also know it is the NFL, so we know anybody has a fighter's chance. The Panthers could have confidence due to the fact that they won the last matchup. Um, but I think the Rams should win this easy and cover this spread.
I agree. I think the Rams should win this easy. They should have won the last game. And to me, it doesn't matter who's playing or who's missing. If we turn the ball over like we did the last game, we're gonna lose again.
Yep.
So that's the key. We can't turn the ball over. But yeah, I'm with you. The Rams should win this game, and they should cover the 10.5 points. And we could talk about this later, but I think that's gonna be the theme, not only for this week but for the entire playoffs. And that is teams like the Rams that do have experience, and going up against these teams like the Panthers who don't have experience. So
Yeah.
we're gonna see like who wins out here.
Yeah.
I think I think it's kind of weird that I've never seen this before, but the favorites to go to play each other in the Super Bowl are the Bills and the Rams. The Rams are a 5 seed, the Bills are a 6 seed. So it's weird to see that a 5 and a 6 seed are favorites to face off in the Super Bowls. Like nobody's giving these top seeds any love, and that's because they don't have any experience.
Yeah. Also, they're looking at these teams might have been coasting throughout the season, and now the playoffs is here. They should be able to get it together to beat some of these new coming teams that are entering the postseason.
Yeah,
But I mean, there's a few things that obviously the Panthers have chances with here. If they can get running, that's a plus. There's another stat I seen. I'm gonna go off the top of the head here, but weeks like 1 through 13 or something, or 1 through 12. I think the Rams secondary was ranked like number 1 or 2 in most categories, right? From weeks 13 through 18, they was ranked 31st. So,
not
you,
good.
you yeah, like Forbes needs to play better, obviously. Um, I mean, Akello, I think, wasn't there for a lot of this, what the good or the bad, but he does need to play better. Darius Williams needs to do something. Um, Kobe, I mean, it's time for you to show out if you're gonna show out. But that's where the run game, and then if they get the run game going, I mean, McMillan could do something against our secondary, and that's their advantage if they could control game clock. But I fully expect the Rams to come out, drop 14 on them, and the Panthers to be chasing from that point, which doesn't play into their style of football.
Yeah, I see that happening too. One last thing though, I will say I think the Panthers could be the most dangerous team in these playoffs, only because they're so bipolar. Because you don't know which team you're gonna get week to week. We've seen this team play great against the Rams, for example, and then the very next week get blown out by New Orleans. So, I mean, this Carolina team, they're so bipolar that they could surprise people tomorrow and win this game. But at the same time, it wouldn't surprise people either if they get blown out by 20.
Yeah, I'm thinking something like 37-17 is probably gonna be the final here.
Yeah, I
So,
see this game probably being over by halftime.
yeah, I believe so too.
All right, and then we'll move on to the oldest rivalry in the NFL. We got the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. Even though these two teams have been playing for 105 years now, this is only the third time they played each other in the playoffs. The last time was in 2010. The time before that was 1941. The Bears won in 41. The Packers won in 2010.
Yeah.
So they're going to be playing each other again. And surprisingly, the Packers are 1.5 point favorites against Chicago, even though the Bears just beat them 3 weeks ago in Chicago. And the Packers, they ended the season on a 4 game losing streak, even though you could put an asterisk over against last week, because last week they just put a practice squad team out there. And this is also a huge game, too, because according to rumors, if the Packers don't make it to at least the Super Bowl, Matt LaFleur can get fired. So a lot of pressure on Green Bay, but I am surprised that the 7 seed is the favorites to beat the 2 seed. And again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about experience. The Packers have playoff experience, the Bears don't. I don't know if that's the reason why they're the favorites, but what's your thoughts on this game between the Bears and the Packers?
You know my thoughts have been on the Packers all year, pretty much same as yours. I've been consistent. I don't think they're as good as the team that people thought they was, and I think a lot of people that came around to that feeling as well, because it wasn't just about Micah Parsons making you a Super Bowl team, just like it wasn't just about Micah Parsons making you not a Super Bowl favorite team. They just never was should have been the favorite. That I don't believe in Jordan Love like other people do. I don't believe in their receiving core. I think they're talented, but I don't think they all put it together for full games. Like one receiver has a good game, then another. It's just never everybody going off. Um, I don't trust them, and I don't expect them to be able to really rattle Caleb without too much pressure coming off the edge. So I think the Bears win this game. I think they should be the favorite. I think they deserve to be the favorite, and I think they win.
You got Matt LaFleur getting fired.
Yeah, I don't think he gets fired either. I think that's well, I'll just put it like this. That'd be the dumbest firing I've seen this year. So I don't think he gets fired if you lose this game. I do have before I get your take on this, I want you to check one thing for me after you give me your opinions on this game.
All right.
Um check the how many times that the Jaguars and Panthers have both been in the playoffs at the same time. But first get into your Bears and Packers stuff.
All right. I'll start with the Packers. I am surprised that the Packers have fallen apart since Michael Parsons got hurt. But like I said, ever since Michael Parsons tore his ACL, they're 0-4. They haven't
Yeah.
won a game. So I am surprised. Now Jordan Love has missed 3 of those games. So if you want to use that an excuse as why they've been struggling, but I'm with you. I think Chicago is the better team. I think Chicago will win this game. I'll be surprised if Green Bay uh, wins. I can't really call the upset of Green Bay wins since they are favored. But again, I think maybe because Packers have the experience, the Bears don't. Maybe that's why they're favoring Green Bay to win this game. But I think Chicago's just the better team. I think they should win, and they should have confidence after they beat them just 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I agree. The Bears.
The Bears. All right, let me look up this Panthers Jags.
Yeah, because I remember back in the Brunel days when they was both just expansion franchise. They both went to the playoffs. Both had a good chance to get to the Super Bowl that year. But I don't remember too many other years that they've both been in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about, you have to go all the way. I think it was like 95, 96.
Brunel, maybe Kerry Collins, I think. Brunell for the Jags, Kerry Collins for the Panthers.
I remember Kerry Collins more so with the Giants back in the day.
Yeah, he was a little bit better for the Giants than he started off all right for the Panthers.
Yeah, but I just remember him with the Giants because he was the quarterback when they went to the Super Bowl and
Yeah,
Baltimore whooped their ass.
yeah. But it's yeah, they definitely did. But that's funny because that's literally the last memory. I was like a tiny little kid at that point, but I remember both of them being new teams and both of them being like down to the final maybe 4 or 8 teams.
I'm trying to find when's the last time. See, maybe I've not worded it right. How many times have both the Panthers and the Jaguars?
You don't gotta detour. That's something maybe we could do a little bit of homework on when we're off here.
All right. Yeah, it just says that both teams made it to the conference championship game in '96.
That's what I'm talking about. I was a kid then,
Yeah, and then they both made the playoffs in '03.
man. That
Yeah, I think that's about it.
and then now,
Yeah. Oh no, in 2017.
all right. Oh yeah, Cam. All right, all right. I vaguely have memory. I don't remember the Jaguars being in the playoffs that year, but I vaguely,
No, no,
I,
that I don't remember the Panthers being in the playoffs that year, but 2017, that's the year they should have beaten the Pats in the AFC Championship game.
yeah,
They called back that fumble that was recovered by Jacksonville. If they got it, if they called it correctly, Jacksonville would have won that game. It says the referee said that he was down by contact, even though he wasn't, and then New England scored the game-winning touchdown after that.
it happened, especially for New England.
Yeah, especially yeah, at that time with Tom Brady in there.
Yep.
All right, so we both got the Bears beating the Packers. We'll move on to Sunday's game, and another one. We have the Buffalo Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bills have not won a road playoff game since 1992, but they're favored to beat Jacksonville. And again, I wonder if this is because Buffalo has the experience, Jacksonville doesn't, but Buffalo is 1 point favorites. My take on this, and I've said this before, I think a lot of the pressure is on the Bills and the Chargers because there's no, especially the Bills, there's no excuses. Their kryptonite for the last 5, 6 years has been Kansas City and Cincinnati. Both teams are not in the playoffs.
Yep.
There's really no excuses for the Bills to at least not get to the Super Bowl. I feel like if Buffalo doesn't get to the Super Bowl this year, it just might never happen for them. But
Yep.
I think this has to be their year. That there's no excuses. I know you could say Denver might be better, New England might be better. Honestly, I think Jacksonville's better. But if the Bills are ever going to make a run, this has to be their year. There's no excuses for them because their Achilles heel are not in the playoffs right now. There's no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes. They got to get it done this year.
Mm. I know that a lot of people like to focus on the quarterbacks and all that stuff is good and all. And I think that's where a lot of these people's picks are going. They're picking the teams with the better quarterbacks. Um,
Have they seen
but
Trevor Lawrence the last 8 games?
yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. I think that people's Achilles. I think Josh Allen's Achilles heel is running into teams that are better than you. I don't think it really has too much to do with him, and I think it's gonna happen again this week.
And me, I think more so his defense.
Yeah. Well, I think it's gonna happen again. Think that he's gonna this week they're gonna run into this weekend, they're gonna run into a team that's just better than him. And they're gonna beat them because they're better than them. Josh Allen could play amazing. I predicted this would be my shootout of the week, but I also got the Jaguars winning. So I mean, we'll see what Josh Allen does from here.
Yeah, again, Buffalo, even though they're the road favorites, I got Jacksonville winning too. Jacksonville's actually my pick to go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. I think they're that good, and I can see them really making a deep run.
I like
They,
it.
um, they're playing at a high level. They got a top five defense. Trevor Lawrence, for the first time in his career, is starting to look generational. He's probably been the best quarterback in the NFL these last 8 weeks. He was just named the NFL Offensive Player of the Month, AFC Offensive Player of the Month, I should say.
Yep.
Matthew Stafford was NFC Player of the Month. Yeah, so but Trevor Lawrence, he's been balling out. They got a top 5 defense. Travis Etienne is running the ball real well.
Yep.
This team has really started to took off really when they made that trade for Jacoby Myers.
Yep.
I
Strange,
really
Strange
see
is a beast too.
say again, my bad.
Strange is a beast. Getting
Oh
him back is a huge boost.
yeah. And your boy Washington.
Yep. PJ Washington's gonna be special going forward.
Yeah, I got Jacksonville winning this game and I guess pulling off the upset.
Yeah. I don't even think this is an upset, but I agree. Jaguars win this.
Then we have the Niners at the Eagles. San Francisco is excuse me, Philadelphia. They're the first home team to actually be favored. They are they're 6-point favorites at home. Eagles are trying to win back-to-back Super Bowls. The Niners, they're trying to do what the University of Miami did in college, which is play the Super Bowl on their home field as the Miami Hurricanes. We playing the national championship at their home field. Niners trying to do the same thing in the NFL.
There's also another team in the NFL that did that not too long ago.
Yes, the LA Rams.
Yeah.
And they can try to do it again next year because the Super Bowl be in SoFi next year.
Let's
But
do
for
it.
this year, we got the Niners and versus the Eagles. Uh, this game, first of all, I think the 6-point spread is too high. I think the Niners could easily cover that. The Eagles offensively, we talk about bipolar. They might give you one good half, and that's about it. Question is, will be the first half or the second half? As far as the Eagles, they're gonna win this game. It has to be by their defense. The Niners, they're banged up. So many injuries. They said Brock Purdy will play in this game. George Kittle will play. They're expecting to get Trent Williams and Ricky Pearsall's back, so that could help them offensively. And getting Trent Williams would be huge too, especially for that O line, as that O line could not block Seattle last
Yeah.
week at all. So hopefully, getting Trent Williams back could help them. But I think the 6-point spread. I think the Niners will cover, but I think actually, I'll take the back. I think the Niners win this game. I was gonna say the Eagles will win, but I just changed my mind. I think the Niners will pull off the upset and beat Philly, and we'll get a Niners Rams in the second round.
I like it. Um, what I'm looking at here is I first of all, I'm staying completely away from this spread. I don't like this spread. If it was 5.5, I think the Eagles cover. The score I'm predicting is 23-17. Eagles win. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles pull the upset, but for some reason that score came into my head, so I'm gonna stick with it. I got the Eagles winning 23-17 in a slow, boring game.
Yeah, I'm gonna need Doobie Energy for this game because the Eagles always put me to sleep. And the fact that you're giving the Eagles saying the Eagles will score 23, you're being nice. I have this being like a 13-10 Niners.
I think the Eagles
Yeah, scoring.
defense I think the Eagles defense makes a few big plays for them.
So you think Niners turned it over a couple times?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Niners offensively they were averaging like 30 points per game until they ran into Seattle last week.
That
I don't see them scoring that much against Philly though. That's why I said I can see this
you,
being like
you
30.
you want me to tell you why I think their defense makes a few plays, and it's funny you bring up that game. The Eagles and the Seahawks have literally the same style of defense. They have just it's so if there's one team that could look at that game from and be like, all right, we're gonna do the same stuff. They the Eagles have similar stuff with maybe even better players in certain positions. Actually, definitely better players in certain positions. So I think they could do all the same stuff that gave the Niners problems last week. And I think Purdy will give you a couple. Doesn't mean that he's going to throw a pick six, but I think that the Eagles will their defense will put their offense in a few easy scoring positions.
Yeah, I can see that happening too. I just something's telling me that it's gonna be one of those your time's up.
Nah, you good. I got a couple more minutes.
Now I was gonna say like something's telling me it's gonna be one of those low scoring 13-10 games
Yeah.
and like the Niners will either win like on a last second field goal or maybe it'll be like the special teams that play that makes a difference.
I think this is going to be a Saquon Barkley versus CMC type of game.
Well, that's the thing too. Philly, they've struggled to run the football this season.
I know, but they like play special players eh, have you know have a little bit extra for playoff time. So I think that we'll see closer to Saquon Barkley of last year than we will of this year in the playoffs.
Yeah, and real quickly, I did say Trent Williams will be back, but for the Eagles, they also get Lane Johnson back, so that'll be huge for their O line.
Huge. So this is good. It's gonna be a good game if you like defense and running. I think.
Yeah, I agree. All right, then we have the LA Chargers, the night game, the LA Chargers at the New England Patriots. The Patriots are 3.5 point favorites in this game. And again, speaking of another team that has a lot of pressure, it's the Chargers. I don't think that no, I take that back. The Chargers really don't have pressure. It's really just Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, he's the quarterback that every year they ask the GMs like, which quarterback would you build your team around? And all the GMs always pick Justin Herbert if he has the talent. But for whatever reason, it hasn't translated to the playoffs yet. He
Yeah.
has yet to win the playoff games, and he's played bad in the playoffs too. So the pressure is on him to really get it done in the playoffs and play well. I don't think he necessarily has to get to the Super Bowl like Josh Allen, but he has to at least show up and win a playoff game. Unfortunately for him, I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think New England's going to win this game, but I do think the Chargers keep it close. But the Chargers, much like the Niners, they have so many injuries that it's going to be hard for them to keep up. And I could see this game getting away from the Chargers because unlike the Eagles, the Patriots can put up some points.
Yeah.
Eagles, they can keep the Niners in the game because they go through like halves with now we can't even without even scoring.
I agree.
The
And
Patriots are not gonna do that. So I think the Patriots win this game, and I think they easily cover that 3.5.
yeah, I'm gonna double down and agree with you. I think Justin Herbert plays great this playoff game, but I don't believe it'll be enough to beat the Patriots. I think that the Patriots, like you said, I think they're the healthier team, they're the younger team, they're the fresher team. I think the Chargers are winding down right now, and I don't really trust their skill position players outside of their running backs and maybe one or two players. But the Patriots right now, they just got a lot going on. I'm expecting Diggs, even though he's in trouble everywhere. I'm expecting a big game. I'm expecting a big game from Henderson. And I'm expecting Drake May to, I mean, he's already exploded onto the scene, but I'm expecting him to win his first playoff game.
Stephon Diggs has to go down as like the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I don't even know how he has the time to do half the shit that he's.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I assume a lot of it's not true. But bro, he's like,
I still can't get over the fact that like allegedly he has like he impregnated 6 women at the same time.
yeah, bro. Listen, allegedly he's done a lot more than that. But all I'm gonna say is, uh, shout out to parties on the boats and shit. You feel me? But it is what it is, man. But I got a couple more minutes before I wrap it up. I mean, you want to get into anything that you want to say else about this game?
Well, before we wrap it up, let's do Monday night's game. We have Houston, Texas at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep,
Houston's 3 point favorites at on the road.
yep.
Houston looking to make it to the second round for the third straight year. Pittsburgh trying to win their first playoff game in a decade. Um, Aaron Rodgers is trying to win his first playoff game since 2020. There is rumors that Aaron Rodgers might retire after this season, so this might be his last hurrah. And there's also rumors that Mike Tomlin could get fired if they lose again, even though I don't think he will because Steelers just don't fire coaches.
Mutual parting of ways.
Well, that's what the Ravens said about John Harbaugh, and John Harbaugh's like, "No, I want to stay." That shit was mutual. But I have Houston winning this game, and I think this game could get pretty ugly.
Yeah.
This might be the blowout of the weekend.
Yeah, and I don't think I said it on the last game. I got the Patriots covering spread wise, but I have them winning by at least 5, 6 points. But as far as the Texans, same thing. I think their defense overwhelms the Steelers. I got them winning easily and covering. The only way that the Steelers I think could take advantage of this game is if they play the short game and a few things break. Like if you're playing because that you're gonna have to play intermediate because the Texans are aggressive. So if you can get some short screens, the Metcalf, and he can take something 70, 80 yards, or, some of their running backs can do something, um, then, they got a small chance, I guess. I'm not big on Gainwell. I'm not big on. I don't know why I can't find his name at the top of my head. The Chargers, I mean, excuse me, the Steelers' actual starting running back. It will come to me in a second, but I'm not big on anything they do, and I think the Texans win this going away.
But yeah, as far as Gainwell, like, there's a reason why the Eagles got rid of him and brought in Saquon. Obviously, Saquon's the upgrade over him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Game was playing basically wide receiver.
the Steelers use him more as a wide receiver than a running back.
Yeah,
But I will say this too, like I'm worried about Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career, he doesn't like to get hit. Like, he looks like he's scared to get hit half the time. And the Texans, they're one of the leaders in the league in sacks. They get a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
yeah,
It'll be a rough night for Aaron Rodgers.
and it was
He might be 42, but after this game, he might be like 62.
I hear that, and it was Jalen Warren that I was talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's like he's a good catching back, but I just don't think he's explosive enough to take something to the
He
house.
was perfect when they had Najee Harris because he could be that change of pace back. But then
Yeah,
now that Najee Harris is gone, they've moved him up to running back one. But I don't think he's really a starting running back. I think he's just
y-
a guy that you can bring in as a change of pace.
yeah, but Metcalf's gonna need 200 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns for them to have a chance in this game.
I don't see that. I can see a Stingley Jr. just shutting him down.
Yeah, I can definitely see that too. But with that being said, let them know where to find you, my brother.
All right, you can find us on X/Twitter at Expected and for myself at Mob Squad 508 for Mike. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spreaker, iHeartRadio. And for some reason, I feel like I'm missing a one, but you can find us on those. And make sure you like and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Absolutely, absolutely. And don't forget, for anybody that needs an extra boost of energy in the morning, feel free to skew the QR code, scan the QR code, excuse me. I'm about to fall asleep. I might need some. Scan that QR code, run on over to W Energy, put in the code Mob Squad 508. That will give you 10% off all your purchases. And let's get ready for a great weekend of football. The playoffs are here, baby. Let's go.
I'm gonna need to scan that QR code Sunday at 1 o'clock West Coast time to watch that Niners Eagles game.
Absolutely. Well, stay on, bro. We gonna jump off, but stay on.
All right, peace.